In this video, Axel is going to show you how to create lightsabers without using any add-ons. So we do of course have the Sci-Fi Adventure Pack, which comes with a bunch of tools for making lightsabers faster and easier. But if you just want to get on with it and do it entirely for free, well, keep watching.
Hello, I'm Axel Wilkinson for HitFilm.com, and today I'll be showing you how to create lightsaber effects for free using our free software, HitFilm 4 Express. You can download the footage and the project I'll be using if you want to follow along step by step. So in the lightsaber project, we have our Jedi footage here in the media panel. To add effects, we want to work in a composite shot timeline. So right-click the footage and choose Make Composite Shot. Name it Lightsabers and click OK to make the comp. This creates a new timeline where we can add our effects. To create the core of our saber, we will use a white plane and mask it to the blade shape. Open the New Layer menu and create a plane, and make sure it is white. Name it Blade, then click OK. A plane is simply a rectangular shape of a solid color. Masks are used to cut shapes out of the plane. Before we add a mask, open the transform controls for the plane and increase the scale to 110%. This will make sure the glow we add later looks great even when the lightsaber goes out of frame. Reduce the opacity of the plane to 0 so we can see our footage. Zoom in on the viewer a bit to 100%, then right-click and drag to reposition the visible area of the video so the prop blade is in view. Select the freehand mask tool up here in the viewer, select the blade plane on the timeline, and draw 4 points at the corners of our prop blade, 2 on the hilt and 2 on the tip. Then click the first point again to close the shape. Turn the opacity back up to reveal the white core of our saber, and as you can see, the mask has cut our blade shape out of the white plane. Open the mask controls in the controls panel and increase the feather a bit. 1 or 2 should do it. We will dial in the appearance more when we add the glow, but first we need to animate the mask shape to follow the blade. So bring the opacity for the layer back down, then on the mask, enable keyframing for the path property by clicking the little gray circle so we can animate it. The period and comma keys on your keyboard allow us to move through the timeline 1 frame at a time in the direction of the pointy brackets on those keys. Advance 4 frames using the period key, then reposition the points of our mask to match the prop. When you make the changes, note that a keyframe is created on the timeline. Keyframes are used to store all your decisions. We can now check the frames we skipped to ensure the alignment is okay and adjust the points if necessary. Continue on like this through the remainder of the footage. By jumping ahead 4 frames at a time, we can let HitFilm work out the position for many of the frames and save a lot of time. Some of the in-between frames will need some manual adjustment, but usually it's not necessary to do every frame. The more precisely you position the effects, the better the results will be, but it's up to you how much time you want to spend dialing it in. How much keyframing is needed will also depend on what's happening in the shot. On frames where the blade is moving more quickly, you will see some blur on the prop, and the tip of the blade might fan out much wider than the hilt. When this happens, position your points so that the entire blade and any blur is inside of your mask shape. When you get to the frames where the blade crosses the edge of the image, position your tip points outside the image. It's not necessary to work out exactly where the end of the blade would be, just make sure that the sides are aligned and that the tip is outside the frame. I'm going to jump ahead to the point where we have the mask animated all the way through the footage, so finish yours up real quick, or just jump over into the rotoscoped composite shot where the mask animation is already completed for you. Okay, so that was sped up a bit, but in real time, animating the mask took me less than 5 minutes. Once you get a rhythm, it actually moves pretty quickly. Set the layer opacity back to 100%, and now we are ready to create our glow. In the effects panel, find the neon glow effect and drag it onto our blade plane. We immediately get a glow, and we can edit the color and size in the controls panel. Click the color swatch, and I'm going to grab a bright green, but you can use whatever color you prefer. That's already looking pretty snazzy, but to improve the way that the glow interacts with your footage, open the layer properties for the blade plane and change the blend mode to screen. This will make our effects behave more like a light source within the scene. Now, adjust the expansion and radius to fine-tune the glow and give it the look you like best. A popular variation is to actually use 2 neon glows. You don't need to do this, but many people prefer the way it looks, and it's very fast to do since our blade shape is already animated. Dial in the first glow small and tight, then duplicate it, enlarge the second copy, and reduce its intensity. This gives our glow a larger, gradual transition that looks great and gives you an additional level of control over its appearance. As you can see, creating lightsaber effects in HitFilm 4 Express is not that difficult and completely free. To make it even simpler and much faster, you can purchase the Sci-Fi Adventure add-on pack, which includes a variety of light sword effects specifically designed to speed up this process and give greater control over the appearance of the final effects. To get a better idea of how they can help, check out our tutorial on using the 2-point light sword effect, linked here. Thank you very much for watching, and do check out our tutorial on creating Force Lightning in HitFilm 4 Express to complete your Force training.